Oh yeah, Short Dog in the house. So here's legendary classic Too Short. He was the pioneer of dirty raps where all you do is talk about sex, debauchery, fucking, all kinds of stuff like that. And of course, his name is Too Short, but he has a damn long discography. He was on one of the only peoples to actually feature with not only Tupac, but Biggie Smalls. This guy is a legend in the whole hip hop realm, and he came out with a West Coast West Coast mixtape that featured G Easy and E40, and it was pretty tight. I even reviewed it, and that's why I was so excited to review his newest album because this was supposed to be released in December, but nah, he actually put it back. I guess he didn't want to do the whole Post Malone and have a summer sounding album in like the winter and shit. It's kind of bittersweet. But whatever, this have came out and I reviewed it. So Too Short really revisits some old Too Short tropes that always been into his discography. It should be called Dick-scography because all he talks about is his dick pretty much throughout his whole fucking career. But at least he's not like Eazy-E and caught AIDS and shit like that. And it is prominent on this album. Hell, it's called the Sex Tape Playlist. And I have to say, this is the worst playlist I heard since More Life. And I really like More Life. But to tell you the truth, it goes through a lot of repetitive stuff. But sometimes he makes it sound funny. And overall, I like the phrase used called a sex. I like the phrase using sexpert on the track. Can't take her. And I also like that he dropped a designer's name because I just reviewed designer's EP, and a lot of people been writing my dick about my review of it. But hey, that was pretty cool. Dance Like You Fucking, otherwise having a very crude, kind of heavy-handed title, also have a line where he says that she fucking till she breaks your dick, which kind of reminds me of the story of Dogs Down or whatever, Three Dogs Down, the guys who made one. Anywho, one of the lead singers, he was screwing so much that he actually had to get like his dick sewed up because, it was pretty bad. But yeah. Also, I like the line where he says she licks where she says that she licks your balls and then she gives you head. Like that was a very nice line. Like many people don't really notice that much. A woman licking your balls and then sucking your dick. Like that was a very nice line. 10 Bad Bitches have this line where he says that if she ain't paying, then fuck that bitch, which kind of Too Short is talking about prostituting himself because his dick is so good, which kind of remind me of the song I Ain't Throwing, where Too Short, he talks about how it's pretty much an anti-stripper anthem and how he is not going to pay the hoes for taking off their clothes. I really like that whole idea of it. But there was this little strange line where he says that a ringtone is where he compares a ringtone to a theme song. And I'm like, nah, man, that I don't really feel that line. And I really appreciate the line where he says that you selling pussy, well, you better sell it for me, as in he's going to pimp out the little bitch. Like, I really thought that was a cool line. And I really like the line where he says he's just doing it for funds. Now, there are like very horrible tracks like Don't Suck Dick. Like from the title alone, I already don't like it. Where he pretty much shouts out ladies that, don't suck dick or don't like to give out the pussy and stuff like that. And also the song Balance, where he pretty much asks, like, it's like he met a girl who got a butt shot after a ass surgery, and then he says like, oh hey, is it hard to walk with all that ass? Like really. Like, just don't make a song about that. Like, come on. And if you were gonna make a song about that, then get at least Big Sean on it because he likes ass and shit like that. Oh yes, and also there's a lot of references to drugs, as in, Too Short. He talks about sex and drugs, but mostly sex. And of course, on the song 10 Bad Bitches, he offers weed, drink, and lean. And also on the song Feeling Something, he referenced the opium epidemic and being that it's not a gimmick, which I thought was pretty cool. And he also referenced that heroin is worth more than crack, which I thought was pretty, very informative. And he also said that I really like the whole flip where he says, the whole moral of this story is don't do drugs without me. Like, I thought that was a very good. It had me laughing on the floor because I thought, wow, this guy was talking about all this stuff that drugs can do, which is bad. But then he's gonna turn around and say, yeah, don't do it without me. Like, I really thought that was a smooth and cool thing to do. Oh yes, and I really like that whole thing where he says that you can't afford a therapist, so go talk to a pastor. Like, I really thought that was a good alternative. Like, I very rarely people think about that, like going to do that, like talking to your pastor instead of spending a whole bunch of money talking to a freaking therapist because a therapist and a pastor is pretty much the same because, both of them are not obligated to talk about your crimes in a courtroom, and I thought that was pretty cool. Oh yes, and sloppy second leftovers seems like it should have been going on the cutting floor. I do like the whole reference to girl on girl doing 69 licking your pearls. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, the whole idea of you fucking another man's wife, like, oh man, just played out at this point. And about the song Give 'em the Blues, I really thought it was nice that he's getting new, fresh faces on his albums like he did on that West Coast tape. It's just that the new, fresh faces have to have a little bit of charisma. I really like, but I really like the line where only like one line I like where he says, I don't fuck with these lame hoes. All I fuck with is bankrolls. I really thought that was a pretty cool line, but overall, one of the guys, he sounded like Cardi B. I think it was Junior, especially Cardi B on the whole motorsports verse. He sounded kind of like him, and the guy doing the hook, he sounded like a discount dollar signs. So really didn't like that. And Pull Out the Trophies kind of reminded me of Drake since he had that song Trophies and he called it a playlist just like Drake. But yeah, I really like this track was okay. I like the whole reference to like Mitch Max Diamonds, but far from segregation. Like, I thought that was cool, but I thought it was a little odd that he referenced her wanting to fuck his car. Like, I don't know how that would work. And really, the idea of blowing blow, like, ugh, just another cocaine reference on this fucking album. Like, come on. But overall, I mean, this is a okay, solid, Too Short little album or whatever. I kind of wish that he kind of did what he did on the whole West Coast tape and actually, like, Look Out is actually one of my most favorite Too Short songs because he's talking about looking out for your people and holding down for your set. I really wish that he kind of talk about that and talk more and less about sex and more about, or he could talk about sex and how it affects people like in a negative way. Maybe you have sex with somebody's gangster, like somebody's girl who's a gangster, and then he feels insulted, so he comes after you or something like that. Maybe just go bizarre, having sex with the president. He even calls out Obama's name a few times. But overall, I'm gonna give this album a 5. I didn't really feel it like that. So, how do you feel about this album? Do you feel that Too Short really delivered with this track? with this album right on below. So this is the flag YouTuber. I'm out, guys.